Greetings, YouTube. I'm going to be linking to a blog post by one Richard Beck. He has a blog called Experimental Theology. And it's an interesting take on the concept that from a Christian perspective, if a war is unjust, Christians cannot support it. That they must put their faith in God and in their religion before patriotism. That to support an unjust law flies in the face of their faith. And it's an interesting take that I haven't often heard. Think about it for a moment. 78% of Americans consider themselves to be Christian. I know people are going to argue with me about whether they are true Christians or not, and that isn't the point. They think they are themselves Christian, and that's all that matters to me. There is no religious vetting process in America. And yet, that percentage of people, or around that percentage of people, often support our wars, even though many, if frankly most of our wars, would fall into the category of an unjust war. The last truly just war I can imagine would have been World War II. The Korean War was kind of a gray area. It was a proxy war. Vietnam, well, that wasn't a gray area. That wasn't a just war. And I can't think of any just wars from there till now. The first Gulf War conflict, potentially, we were defending allies. But Afghanistan, Iraq, no. Those weren't just. And yet, many Americans, 78% of whom consider themselves to be Christians, supported both of those military conflicts. And the author of this blog post wants to know why. And I think he's asking a very valid question. Why is it that people are putting their patriotism before their faith? Now, I believe that a war which is defensive in nature can be justified. So if your nation is attacked, you are justified in defending your nation. If the nation of an ally is attacked, you are justified in going after the aggressor because they've attacked your ally. But those are the only two circumstances under which I consider a war even has the possibility of being just. And America is really in the business of getting involved in military conflicts that aren't even passingly just. That could not be defined as just no matter how much you might stretch the definition of that word. And yet Americans support those unjust wars. So, why do they do that? Why do they put jingoism, nationalism, patriotism before their own God? This in a nation that is quite frankly one of the most religious nations in the world. Why does that happen? I don't have an answer. I'm hoping that someone can tell me, because I would really like to know.